What is up, YouTube? We are back with another video. I'm only joking, guys. I'm not that level of YouTube yet. In this video, I'm going to show you these steps to securing a rent to HMO deal from start to finish. What is rent to rent HMO? It's renting a property or a shared house and legally renting each room out individually. So essentially making money from an asset that you don't own. A lot of successful companies do this. eBay or Just Eat don't own any stock or restaurants, but they make money from other people's assets. Alright, step one is doing your research on the area. Your target area should be within a 1 hour drive from where you live. Right, so the reason that we say a 1 hour drive is, let's say for example you do get a deal and it's 3 hour drive away, and then you've got to go up there every day to do viewings for your tenants. It's just a bit of a nightmare. So also, if you're going to be managing it yourself, it's much more handy to have it an hour drive. It's just much more practical. So to do your research on an area, you need to check the demand. So when checking your demand, you don't want to take on a deal and you haven't checked the demand before, because then you're just going to have problems when trying to fill up the rooms. So how do you check for demand? So there's plenty of ways that you can do it. A way that I like doing it is asking. So the way I like... So one of the ways that we like to check for demand is asking people who are currently doing
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Okay, so what you want to do is ask people who are currently doing rent-to-rent HMO in your targeted area and ask them what the demand's like, see what problems they've had. So how do you do that? There's plenty of ways you can do it. You can go to property networking events and speak to people, see what their strategy is. But the best way that I've found is if you go onto like online groups, like Facebook groups. A good one's Property Newbies. So yeah, just go on there, introduce yourself on a Facebook status, let them know what you're doing, and ask the questions that you want to ask, and people will help you. Speak to them and see what it's like for them. Okay, so then when you're checking the demand in your area, you can also look on things like spare room. I'm going to show you now how I check the demand in an area. Now this way isn't 100% accurate, but it does give you a little idea, and then there's other things that you can do to make sure that there's definitely good demand in your area. Okay, so you jump onto spareroom.co.uk and then you just type in your targeted area or the area that you want to check the demand in. I'm going to do Bournemouth because that's where I'm living. Hit that search button. So you see here, this says it's showing the results for the BH postcodes. I want results for just Bournemouth only, so I'm going to click that. And then that narrows it down to 355 results for rooms that are available in Bournemouth. So then you want to click rooms wanted, and look, this says 226 results of people that are actually looking for rooms. And if you scroll down a bit, you can see how many are just new today. Look at that, new today. So yeah, what you want to remember as well is with this number 226, not everyone who's looking for a room is going to be going on to Spare Room and making an account. So there's likely to be a lot more people that are actually looking for rooms. Now if you go over here, it says check average rents in the area, and then look, it shows you for single rooms, double rooms, bills included, and the average price of the rent in that postcode area. If you want to narrow it down to a specific postcode area, just go here, put the postcode in, hit search, click the check the average rent button, and then yeah, it shows you for that area. So yeah, as I said, bills included, single, double room, the average rent. So that's a nice little tip there for you. Okay, so another tip would be giving estate agents in your target area a call. Ask them what the demand's like for rooms. Give all of the agents a call and they'll be able to help you as well. They'll be able to give you their opinion. And then again, it gives you a bit more of an idea. Also, what you want to do is you want to call agents and pretend to be a tenant looking for a room, and then you'll be able to see how much you're going to be able to charge per room in a similar area to the houses that you're looking at. Okay, so you checked the average rents on Spare Room earlier, called estate agents as well, pretending to be a tenant that's looking to move to the area, just so you can get a rough idea of what rents are going to be. And you've also called estate agents pretending to be an investor that's looking to buy in the area, just so that you can know what kind of rents you can charge per room. Usually they'll give a different figure to an investor and to a tenant. So to a tenant they'll say it's probably lower, and to an investor they'll say higher. You do that so you can get a rough idea. But yeah, once you've done that, you go back onto spare room. Again, type in your target area. Again, Bournemouth, hit that search button. And then, yeah, so what you want to do is you want to go through and look at the properties that are being advertised and flick through the photos. Have a look at like the quality of the actual properties and the rooms. You see this one's up for $525 a month. Yeah, and just keep going through them and just get like a feel of what the rooms look like and how much they're actually going for. So I'll do this a couple more times. So yeah, you get the idea. After you've checked the demand on spare room, how I've just showed you how to, what I would highly recommend before you even get the property deal or go on the viewings or anything, when you're checking the demand, make sure you put a dummy ad on spare room, just so you can see what the demand's like, how many people are interested in looking at a room. Right, so now that you know that the demand in your area is good, you need to go crazy on trying to find the deals. So you need to be calling up every single estate agent for every property that you see on Rightmove. You want to be printing off letters, at least 100 a week, sending the letters out to the HMO properties in your targeted area. So to find the addresses, you can look just online, typing in the HMO list. So for example, I live in Bournemouth. I could type in on Google HMO list in Bournemouth, and it gives me all of the HMO properties, and it also gives me the landlords' addresses. So what I can now do is send letters to all of the landlords and seeing if they'll be open to the idea of doing a rent to rent. Also, when you're calling agents on Rightmove and an agent tells you no, don't just give up there. You just got to keep calling. And even if that estate agent said no, it might be because the person doesn't understand it. The person that you spoke to is new. You know, you might call that estate agent up the next day, speak to someone else, and they do understand the model. So don't always take no for the answer initially. Just make sure you keep going, keep calling all of the agents on there. If they give you an objection as well, you want to be able to overcome that objection. You don't want to just give up straight away. I'm going to do another video in the near future showing people how to speak with agents and how to pitch the model to them. So yeah, if you don't want to miss that video, make sure you're subscribed. Right, so now your viewings are booked. You want to turn up to the viewing wearing smart casual clothes, and when you're on the viewing, make sure you check everything, and I actually mean everything. We've done another video about how to do a property viewing for a rent-to-rent HMO deal. I'll put the link in the description, so you haven't seen that. It's going to be up there in the corner or up there in the corner, but it's also going to be in the description. Yeah, make sure you watch that because it is important as well, because there was loads of lessons that we learned when we took on our first deals about what we did wrong in the property viewings. So yeah, be sure to watch that one. Last thing you want to do is take on a deal and then there ends up being like a costly thing that you missed in the property viewing. So yeah, make sure you do that. Okay, so now your viewings are done. You've seen a few deals that you like. It's time to work out the numbers. So I'm going to show you exactly how we do that. Right, so when we're doing our numbers, we go to our deal analyzer. So the things that we put on our deal analyzer are things like the startup cost, so how much it's going to cost to get the property ready, all of the things that we need to pay, and then also it's going to have on there the recurring monthly cost, so things like rent, council tax, the bills, cleaner, stuff like that, and also it's going to have on there how much rent we can charge for each room. Once you put all of the numbers in, it will calculate how long it will take to make your initial investment back, and it will also show you how much profit you can make each month. With the information that you've got from your dummy ad, you can now work out the worst case scenario and the best case scenario. Right, so let's say now you've put all of your numbers on the deal analyzer and the profit that the property will make fully tenanted is only £450, for example, but what you want to make is £750 per month profit if it's fully tenanted. You now know that you're going to have to offer the landlord £300 less than what he's asking for. Yeah, so to make the numbers work for you, that's how you do it. You need to reduce what you're going to be paying the landlord each month to make your profit to where it needs to be, to make the deal work for you. And the way to justify a lower rent to the landlord, what you can do, when you're putting in your offer, you can justify it by showing them how much money they're going to lose each year from the average void periods that they'll get each year. So I think it's around 6 weeks. So what you could do is work out what his gross rent will be and then take off how much money he's going to lose. If he was to go with you, you're guaranteeing him the rent every single month for the agreed period. That's one of the examples of how you can justify it. Okay, so now your offer has come back accepted. Great news. So now what you need to do is you need to get in touch with a solicitor who specialises in rent-to-rent or HMOs, so that they can help you with the contracts, because it's not something that you're going to know everything about. So what you need to do, rather than learning everything about it, you could just find someone who already knows or specialises in it. So a lot of people say use template contracts, or they'll give you template contracts. You shouldn't use them. You should make sure that the contract's right for you. And the only way that you're going to do that is by speaking to someone who actually specialises in contracts. Last thing you want to do is take on a property that you're going to have for 5-6 years and it doesn't work for you. So you need to make sure that it's right. Speak to someone who's done this strategy or has done it in the past, someone who specialises in it, because you're going to have this deal for a long time and you don't want it to cause you problems. You want it to work for you. Right, so now contracts have been signed and you've got your HMO deal. Great news. What I'd like to say as well is rent-to-rent HMO is not passive income. You are going to need to put the work in. You're going to need to do all of the hard work. So don't think you're going to get the keys and then everything's just going to be easy from there. It doesn't work like that. It's not passive income. It's a good way to generate cash flow, but you are going to have to put the work in. Don't think it's going to be easy, because it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard work. And as I said, you're going to have to put all of the hard work in. We have done other videos where we show you the steps that we did, where we put all of these steps into practice and secured our first rent HMO deals. If you haven't seen that, again, there's going to be a link somewhere, and I'll also put it in the description. So if you want to see all of the challenges that we faced when we secured our first deals, make sure you check out that video.
Also, make sure you like and subscribe as usual. We're going to do more follow-up videos about this tenant in it and everything like that. What I want you to do as well, if you've got a deal at the moment, comment and let us know. If you want us to analyse it for you, let us know, send us your details in the comments. And also, we use a very reliable professional person for our contracts, so if you've actually got a deal, can put you onto the right person to make sure you get a proper contract sorted out that will benefit you and of course the landlord. Make sure you've got a deal first, because he won't waste his time if you haven't.
If you've got any questions or anything, just drop them down in the comment section and we will answer your questions in a video. So if you have anything that you want us to answer in a video, just put it in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this one. Make sure you hit that like button, smash up the likes, make sure you subscribe as well. But yeah, good luck.
Perfect.